A famous zombie also looked enthusiastic. They knew what this meant. The entire universe would open its doors to them. That endless flesh and blood, endless life, will become their most delicious food. A cosmic food. Oh my God, they have eaten up billions of people and countless animals on the earth. They can't wait to think of this, and their hunger and gluttony instinct drive them one by one into the starry sky of the universe. As for sanity, developing a vaccine. Don't be funny, they thought so when they first contracted the virus. 5 years later, the living things on the earth were eaten by them, and they thought so too. It's useless. There is no solution to the zombie virus. Even if the smartest brains in the world are gathered together, it is impossible to develop a vaccine to crack the virus. A bunch of stupid guys. After they left, Reed, the leader of the Fantastic Four, sneered again and again, and continued to develop the universe shuttle. A universe is simply not enough to eat. As the most intelligent man on Earth, Reed knows this very well. He is a zombie himself, and it is the zombie who has accepted the zombie virus and turned into a zombie, and he will not hesitate to infect the other three. Become a zombie. He knows too much about the zombie virus. Reed, how long will it take you to develop this machine? I'm going to starve to death. The stone man screamed loudly. After the gentle big man became a zombie, his temperament was extremely violent. Reed didn't look up. Soon, not long, the entire multi-universe will be open to us, countless universes will be our hunting grounds, countless living people will be our food. The human species was originally a creature driven by appetite and wisdom. Millions of them rely on wisdom to hunt other species and eventually become the overlord of the earth. Obviously, zombie viruses can make our appetite more vigorous, but it allows us to retain our wisdom. Zombies are essentially human beings in the strengthening version. In Reed's muddy eyes, the sheen of wisdom flashed, a very strange scene. This is also the reason why Reed did not hesitate to infect the zombie virus to the other 3 family members, and then let the 3 of them bite himself. Reed, who was extremely obsessed with knowledge in the unknown, could hardly resist the temptation of the zombie virus. It's that other zombies actually made a leap to a higher level with Galactus, which really exceeded Reed's expectations, but he didn't care about it. The entire Earth should have been able to last for many, many years, and billions of humans should have been eaten by us for many years. We only need to hunt and kill a living person and quickly divide the food. Don't give this living person a chance to change, but very regrettably, these greedy and stupid guys actually bite the living, causing too many uneaten guys to turn into zombies, and then to bite other living people. The entire human world fell at an alarming rate, our food fewer and fewer. Unfortunately, billions of people were eaten up in just 5 years. I too underestimated the zombies' desire for food and living people. How long can a mere universe eat? 30 years, or 5, 10 years? Reed slapped the instrument in front of him with a greedy face, as if he saw countless life forms in the countless universe waiting for him to enjoy. Only by opening the multi-universe door can there be countless food. The huge amounts of instrument ran and began to spin frantically, covering everything. The mighty force that penetrated the parallel universe suddenly exploded. In an instant, the Fantastic Four with obsessive and greedy faces were swept into it. If you look at the entire multi-universe from a bird's eye view, you will see a bright light beam spreading from one universe to another, but the light beam is too small and subtle. Looking at the endless multi-universe, it's not at all worth mentioning. No one cares. Boom. Unknown universe. The Magneto of this universe noticed that the entire base was shaking. Eric, there are unknown temporal and spatial fluctuations. We are here as a guest. The Red Devil, who is proficient in space abilities, said with a weird smile on his face. Magneto got up a little surprised, a strong magnetic faintly surging, revealing a strong confidence. Then, let us see who these otherworld visitors are and what their purpose is. The Red Devil bends down respectfully, a strange color flashing in those eyes. He is not a loyal subordinate. As a mutant who has lived for 4,000 to 5,000 years, following Magneto is only temporary. He will only be loyal to himself forever. Wow. The space vortex dissipated. Successful, parallel universe. I can smell the fresh meat. Reed, you are such a genius. Quickly, I want to eat fresh flesh and blood. I want to eat up this planet. As soon as the Fantastic Four arrived, they roared, and the fragrance was exuding everywhere in the Brotherhood, driving them crazy. Reed smiled frantically. Then, let's start our feast now. Remember what I said, you must be fast when you eat people. Don't give the other person a chance to become a zombie, otherwise he will only fight with us for food. If you keep in mind, this earth has been enough for us to eat for many years. There was a sound of footsteps. Huh? Reed? Magneto looked at the strange-looking Fantastic Four with the smell of corpses with a shocked look on his face. Without waiting for the other party's reaction, he exploded with a magnetic field and swept all these 4 guys out. Damn it. This is different from what I estimated. At the last moment when Reed was twisted and imprisoned by a series of terrifying metal bars, he said violently. Just after defeating the Universe Celestial Group, Magneto hurriedly returned to his lair. Had it not been for these damn cosmic gods that his research had to be interrupted, he would have understood the secret research of these zombies. Coming to the depths of the base, in the huge amounts of prison, a variety of complex high-tech instruments are arranged here, specially detaining the Fantastic Four and some infected zombies. I guess, those gods have been killed by you. Well, it took longer than I estimated. Why is the strength of your Earth so weak? The zombie Reed, across the super energy barrier, let out a terrifying laugh. If this is the case, it is really good news. He also dealt with things like the Cosmic Gods group on Earth 2149. This was before the zombie crisis broke out. It was indeed a bunch of tricky machine gods, but because the brain was not easy to use, with the power of the Earth it can be dealt with. But now, this Earth actually took so long and paid such a big price? The zombie Reed was surprised. This Earth was much weaker than he thought. Where's Sentry? Where's Hulk? Where's the Black Bat King? Where's Captain Marvel? Where's Dark Phoenix? With these guys here, those gods can't possibly delay you for so long. John sneered in a low voice and leaned on the super energy barrier. In our world, the cosmic gods come to die as many as. You. Are you so weak? Shut up. Don't want to inquire about the intelligence of our planet in this way. Magneto sneered again and again, and the old and cunning, he could see the purpose of this zombie family at a glance. The Fantastic Four. On this Earth, he has just joined forces with the Fantastic Four to fight the cosmic gods. This super ability family is indeed powerful. Let's look at these few. Magneto shook his head, directly controlled the magnetic field, and used a few adamantium alloy knives to severely cut a piece of meat from these guys. It's useless. No one can study this ghost virus. If a vaccine can be developed, we would have done it long ago, or do you think you will be smarter than me? Reed sneered in a low voice, the ugly and terrifying face, staring straight at Magneto, sniffing desperately, with a greedy expression on his face. We were anxious. Iron Man, Black Panther, Reed, Dr. Doom, Banner, all failed to develop a vaccine. With your Magneto's wisdom, you still want to crack the mystery of the virus. Oh, I almost forgot. Do you want to use this thing to destroy the world? Just like you in our world? Susan grinned loudly. Magneto paused and said coldly, I am not him. Since he was the first to contact this virus, he has caused it to get out of control. Obviously, my peers are also a waste. Through the conversation with the Artifact family during this period of time, Magneto learned that in the 2149 universe, Magneto was the first person to discover the virus. In order to destroy all mankind and establish a mutant kingdom, he decisively dropped the virus on the Earth. The result was annihilation. What an idiot. Magneto cursed secretly, expressing huge amounts of contempt and disdain for his peer. With his strong self-confidence and tyrannical strength, he firmly believed that he would not repeat the mistakes of his peer. He will make maximum use of this peculiar virus to achieve his goals. The terrifying energy utilization efficiency, the incredible vitality, the pervasive assimilation and corrosion ability. This kind of virus is simply the most perfect work. Magneto placed the zombie's flesh and blood on the instrument to observe, looking at the creeping violent viruses, with a look of excitement. But what he hadn't noticed was that the eyes of the Fantastic Four looking at him became more and more weird. Magneto, the last hero of the 2149 universe, after realizing the disaster he caused, he fought fearlessly, knowing that at the last moment when the whole Earth was eaten up, he was still fighting. Tisk tut, it's a pity that arrogance are common problems of all Magneto, and the Earth of this universe is no exception. Soon, Magneto hurried away with the virus, full of confidence and ambition, and full of expectations for the future. Aren't we doing it yet? I've been hungry for several days. The Stone Man had a distorted face. He was large in size and naturally more appetizing. Wait. According to the information I got from talking to the Red Devil during this period of time, this Earth is very wrong. Reed stared straight at the outside world, the brain torn apart by hunger and bloodthirsty desire, trying to think about the information he had at this moment. In this universe, Avengers are all waste, nothing can be beaten, X-Men is also disabled. Hulk left the Earth, Sentry did not appear at all, Phoenix Force was also taken away, Professor X was poached by Red Skull's brain, Black Panther's Wakanda was completely wiped out, and even Ultron was gone. The Earth of this universe is so weak that it is exaggerated. Everything is because of this guy named Martin. Reed thought hard. This is weird. No matter how it is calculated, deduced, or simulated, this should not be the result. According to the information collected by Reed, the superhero and supervillain of this universe, for unknown reasons, are generally much weaker than the collocation of Earth 2149. Forget it, it may be restricted by the rules of the universe. But after scrutinizing a lot of information, Reed clearly felt a kind of weirdness. This one named Martin, as if he had opened the hangar, mixed up all the necessary tracks in a mess. Reed is a traverser who has collected and evaluated what has happened. Martin alone is filled with weirdness and mystery. Every movement seems to be illogical, but it is extremely meticulous, as if it seems that he knows exactly what is going to happen in this world. What is the reason? He comes from the future timeline? Or is it that he has been in collusion with Ancient One a long time ago, and he has been in contact for a long time? Time gem? Reed was full of misgivings, Martin, the only obstacle to his hesitation. Moreover, the powerful race named Shapeshifting King Kong, created by this man, made Reed a lot of scruples. Although he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, it was too exaggerated just to hear the Red Devil said. At birth, there is complete wisdom, strong body, amazing endurance, powerful thinking organs and scanning analysis capabilities, upload and download information anytime, anywhere, can survive in space, plus the number of horror to random explosives, so absolutely loyal. How could there be such an unscientific and unmagical race in this world? The Red Devil is lying. Reed suddenly sneered, and there was some distortion on that ugly face. I have calculated the first possibility. There will never be an illogical life entity like Shapeshifting King Kong in this world. It should be his calculation or Magneto's conspiracy. But I haven't figured out why they did it, but it's okay. I have preset 1,654,614 countermeasures. We do it. Turn this Earth into our fresh meat store. The zombie family escaped from prison. Just using a very simple strategy, Susan used super ability to hide the four of them, and when Mutant opened the cell to check the situation, they appeared instantly and ate them. A Nod zombie with missing arms and legs stood up slantingly and began to spread towards the entire base. The zombie virus finally began to spread in this universe. Screaming and wailing are intertwined, anger and despair are mixed. This is the headquarters of Brotherhood. Do you think you can escape? A powerful mutant looked at these zombies with a grin. Although he was shocked by the contagion, he was relieved immediately after he knew that he could kill each other by smashing his head. Here, there are countless powerful mutants, killing these 25 zombies is not a problem. But in the next moment, all mutants were sluggish. I saw a famous zombie rushing out. What's more terrifying is that these guys can talk, have memories, have wisdom, and still retain their super ability. The whole situation was disrupted in an instant. Various zombies mutant used various variants of ability, swarming into the crowd and biting indiscriminately. Any bite or scratch, everything was done. Magneto was very angry, roaring again and again, and fought with many zombies, and in the end it simply lifted the entire Brotherhood Island over, causing huge amounts of a tsunami. But this was just the beginning of a nightmare. The seawater could not kill them. Some zombies were saved by Atlantis. After taking a bite, Atlantis also began to fall, and countless creatures in the entire ocean were successively infected, turned into a zombie. The terrifying zombie virus began to spread all over the Earth. New York. Although it has experienced disasters, it is still one of the largest cities in the world. It is rebuilt and repaired again and again, and it is extremely prosperous. Peter and Deadpool, hanging shoulders and shoulders, wandering the streets of New York City. Hey, boy, your Cameron is so handsome, lend it to me later. Deadpool urged maliciously. Oh, it doesn't count what I said, you were going to ask Bumblebee. Leave it to me. I am best at persuasion. When I was studying, I won the first place in the city's debate competition. Deadpool patted his chest, disappeared into the street with a jump, and rushed towards the Hornet. Boom. There was a loud noise, followed by countless screams. Peter's face changed drastically, and he rushed over and saw that Deadpool was drawing a knife and cutting over a few weird guys. He immediately shouted, Wade, what happened? Is it a super criminal? Or is Red Skull starting a war again? Wade. Peter. Do you know what the most painful thing is in this world? Deadpool's voice was low, and he slowly inserted 2 carbon sodium steel knives back into the scabbard. What? No, how do you know my name? I mean, you never know. I have always known who you are. I have always known. In fact, many supercriminals who fight with you are also very smart and can roughly figure out your true identity, but they don't bother to do so. Deadpool slowly turned around, and on the raised face, there was clearly a tooth mark that proved terrible. Peter watched under Deadpool's tattered hood. His face was slightly distorted, his lips disappeared, his savage teeth appeared, and his face suddenly changed. The most painful thing is hunger, stupid Peter, let me eat you alive. Deadpool screamed, red eyes, and madly pounced on Peter. Boom. A giant cannon blasted Deadpool into the air. A handsome Cameron supercar came swiftly, the door spontaneously opened, and the Bumblebee's voice pieced together through the broadcast content anxiously said, "Get in the car, the whole world is going wrong, there are such monsters everywhere." Peter rushed in with a nervous look on his face. A zombie rushed over, without thinking about it, and bit on the sports car with one bite, leaving a scar, but it was blasted to pieces on the spot by the cannon protruding from the sidewall of the sports car. What happened? Where's Aunt May and Uncle Ben? Peter asked anxiously. It's not clear yet, but Sonic has sent a warning message and the highest level of martial law has begun. Let's pick up May and Ben, and then I will take you across the sea to the base. It is no longer safe here. Bumblebee said quickly. Peter was disturbed, recalling the tragic situation and weird behavior of the best friend Deadpool in his mind, and suddenly exclaimed, "Bumblebee, I remember you were bitten too. Don't worry, I am a mechanical life, I have no flesh and blood at all, only electronic viruses have an effect on me." Bumblebee said confidently. The Bumblebee carrying Peter, rushing along the way. At the moment, the zombie virus has spread at a terrifying speed. If it is bitten, it will turn into a new living corpse in a few minutes to bite other living people. This spread the speed is extremely terrible. Countless artillery fire roared, the war broke out, and the Hornet almost killed all the way with the tide of zombies. At the moment, news of the Earth's drastic changes finally returned to Cybertron. Martin, who was closing his eyes and restoring his mind, silently trying to break the barriers between single and multiple, suddenly opened his eyes with a look of surprise. "What are you talking about, zombie virus?" Martin stood up immediately, looking in the direction of the Earth with a serious face. Throughout the entire Marvel system, there are many evil things. They don't know the origin, whereabouts, the meaning, and they appear inexplicably. Zombie virus is one of many evil products. Compared with the zombies under other systems in the previous life, they are more weird and perfect. What's interesting is that these zombies have now spread to Martin's world. Interestingly, I originally thought that before I was promoted to the multi-universe god, I wouldn't be exposed to things in other universes, but I didn't expect you to come here by yourself. Martin touched his chin, looked at the direction of the Earth, and saw the hordes of zombies chasing frantically, chasing and devouring living people. Under this kind of disaster, before the incomprehensible zombie virus, no matter whether it is a human or a god, there is no possibility of surviving. As long as it is bitten, it can be transformed into a zombie in a few minutes. Unless it is an energy body or a metal body, can you really be immune to these viruses? Martin's face was indifferent. According to the memory of previous lives, an observer was swallowed by the zombie Ant-Man's upper body, but stayed in Ant-Man's belly and never died, because the observer's body is essentially an energy body. Black Panther built the last human fortress on the tragically extinct Earth. Many of the warriors were half human and half machines. Whenever they were bitten, they would immediately dig out their flesh and blood and replace them with mechanical parts. Over time, they almost became robots. Energy and machinery will not be infected by viruses. Others are hard to say. Even living planets like Yigo will be attacked and bitten by zombie Avengers. If they are not eaten up quickly, there is a high probability will also be turned into zombies. To be honest, the group led by Martin, Tionke, these zombie viruses, not only will not be infected, but also can compete with this group of zombies in terms of vitality. The core of shapeshifting King Kong's life is fire. As long as the fire is not extinguished, it will continue to fight. The core brain of the zombie, as long as the brain is not completely destroyed, even if it is half destroyed, it doesn't matter, can continue to fight and maintain self-thinking. I don't know how many universes these guys have infected, but it doesn't matter. This big incident is a bit interesting. Martin sneered and watched the rapid fall of the entire Earth. A powerful individual was transformed into zombies one after another. He watched the heroes and villains with superb wisdom, gathered together to study hard, and wanted to find out the vaccine to crack the virus. Unfortunately, it's useless. Bringing together the smartest brains on the planet, without researching the reason, this is the most devastating thing. With the passage of time, accompanied by a loud noise, finally, the space-time shuttle was opened again, and this time it was even larger. In the 2149 universe, the zombies have eaten everything, and now they are coming across the universe in search of new food. A huge amounts of figure appeared, and the zombie Galactus was in tatters, and immediately rushed out with a roar, obsessed with the smell of countless fresh meat, completely crazy. Meat. It's all my food, the zombie Galactus roared. This roar directly shook the rule of the entire universe, and truly shocked many cosmic gods. What's wrong? What happened? It seemed that Galactus was roaring just now, which triggered the rejection of the rule of the universe. Could it be that Galactus of the parallel universe came? The 5 great creation gods are equivalent to the specific universe rule. It stands to reason that even if they die, they will die in a specific universe. How can they travel through the universe? Only when the existence of Galactus came, did they completely awaken the confused gods. They all looked around and began to observe the chaotic earth. Watching the ancient monster species chasing the living in groups, looks confused. Many gods analyzed this change, but they got stuck while observing the virus, with a look of horror. They actually couldn't understand the nature of the virus. So hungry, it's all my food. As soon as the zombie Galactus arrived, he just lowered his head and glanced at the earth, raised his hand and grabbed him. He grabbed all the city that was fighting against the corpses, and stuffed all the living people who were screaming in horror into his mouth. Only then rushed to the stars of the universe with satisfaction. I want to eat up all the gods in this universe. Galactus stared with muddy eyes and looked greedy. Damn things, who do you want to eat up? Have you ever asked me? Not long after the zombie Galactus flew out of the solar system, he noticed that the wrong golden existence suddenly flew, and in a crash, he slammed the zombie Galactus with a fist. The golden light permeated and showed nobleness, and the majestic breath of life spread, and it stimulated countless zombies to scream. The evolution of Galactus, the messenger of life, has arrived. 2 identical guys looked at each other. I come from a parallel universe. What happened to you? I want to know all this. The life messenger was surging with divine light, and looked at the other himself with majesty. The zombie Galactus was stunned, staring at the life messenger in a daze, his mouth full of squalid teeth rubbed unconsciously. You are now in the form of life messenger. I have spent more than 10 billion years without being able to fill it. Belly, I have never reached this level. You are really a lucky guy. The zombie Galactus showed his fangs and became more and more mad. This kind of you, it tastes more delicious. As long as I eat you, I will definitely be able to fill my stomach. Maybe I can also evolve into a life messenger. You don't have this chance in your life, go to hell. The life messenger sneered and acted violently. Under the explosion of his divine power, that terrifying power was revealed, and he slammed the opponent's face with a fierce punch, smashing the head of the zombie Galactus in half on the spot. The zombie Galactus didn't feel any pain at all. He kept rushing forward with a strange smile, and stretched out his paws to catch the life messenger, but the life messenger was extremely cautious. He just swept the Earth's condition and understood something, and he was always concerned about getting hurt. The 2 Galactus fought in this cosmic starry sky, and the horror power was agitated, and the zombie Galactus was gradually beaten by the life messenger. The life messenger is really too powerful. This is the true strength of a god of creation, far beyond the ability of the starving Galactus in the past. Many gods were observing this battle, looking at the weird zombies that had spread from the Earth ball to the moon. Gradually, they understood a little bit, and immediately paid attention to the battle between the 2 Galactus. Sure enough, Galactus, the creation god, is very peculiar. There is no body, or that every peer is a body. After a while, a god spoke with a weird face. There are numenons like annihilation, eternity, infinity and death. All duplications are energy bodies and rule bodies differentiated from numenons. Therefore, it is impossible for 2 duplications to have independent wills, let alone to cross. The universe fought each other. But Galactus happened to be able to do it. Even if this guy had a flesh and blood body and was infected by the virus, he didn't have a body yet, so that this kind of weird scene appeared. It's no wonder that Galactus has the lowest compulsion. It doesn't have the transcendence and dignity of Marvel's creation god, and is always pulled out to worship the sky. A figure came to kill forcefully. Martin looked strangely at the scene where the 2 Galactus were fighting each other. The zombie Galactus was blasted by the life messenger, punch after punch, and his rotten body after turning into a zombie, he couldn't match the life messenger at all. Until, the zombie Galactus roared and knocked out a cosmic power. It's useless, you are not the Galactus of this universe, and the effects of the universe's supernatural powers are extremely limited. The life messenger was still indifferent at first, and immediately moved. When he was attacked by the cosmic power that barely gushed out, in an instant, his golden light dissipated everything. The zombie Galactus took the opportunity to hug the life messenger. Even if his body was torn apart by the golden power, he was greedy and bit the life messenger with one bite. Abandon everything, just for this bite. As expected of me to be the same person, the meat is extremely delicious. The zombie Galactus was biting frantically. The life messenger frowned, and he tore it off, using his own divine power to destroy the ghosts spreading in his body. But this is useless at all. Even the gods cannot be immune to the spread of this thing, and even the divine power cannot kill these viruses. Roar. With a roar, the golden body of the life messenger began to decay, transforming into a zombie. What the hell is this? Obviously just got a bite and turned into this ghost. A virus that even gods can't be immune to. It's strange, but Galactus is so stupid. These guys come across the universe to spread the virus and find more food. A god looked at this scene in amazement, and watched Galactus completely corrupt and mutate in a very short time. A boring farce. Martin put on the supreme divine armor, the blue light flashed, and he held the star sword in his hand, and after the life envoy slowly stood up, he slashed it with a vicious sword. These two Galactus are too destructive, so it is better to clean them out earlier. Although the zombie virus is powerful, its limitations are too great. At the level of level single universe, most gods have already converted flesh and blood into energy and rules, and the virus cannot be infected at all. Unless, with an infected person such as Galactus, the energy and rule gods are forcibly bombarded and killed. Ha! A strange cosmic god, in my universe, I have never heard of you. With a broken body, Galactus turned his head and looked at Martin with a look of joy. He bit his mouth when he grew up, but was hit by the star sword. In an instant, half of his head was split open. After you become a zombie, your already bad head is even worse. Martin glanced lightly, rushed forward with the star sword, and suddenly started besieging the two Galactus. Eat you! The life messenger roared. The three figures were intertwined, and an astonishing battle began in a sudden. That huge amounts of gloss, with the power to shred everything, killed the zombie Galactus in a sudden. Knowing the characteristics of the zombie, he not only cut off Galactus' head, but also completely destroyed it into a microcosm. Particle form. Even so, Martin does not guarantee that Galactus is completely dead. In the original book, Captain America's head was cut off in half, and the remaining half was pulled out by the Red Skull. Everyone thought that the zombie Captain America was dead, but many years later, Black Panther actually took half of Captain America's head. Squeezed into his son's mind, the zombie Captain America was resurrected. This is just a Captain America with second-level combat power. It is not a super ability, it is so difficult to deal with. At the level of Galactus, it will only be more difficult to kill. How do you know us so much? The zombie life messenger looked at Martin uncertainly, with caution in his muddy eyes. No, I don't know enough, so let me hack you to death, and then study you carefully. Martin sneered, and in a sudden, fierce battle broke out with the life messenger. The powerful existence of the two-level single universes clashed, shaking planets and exploding countless galaxies, but no one cared. All eyes were focused on the life messenger, and many gods were a little confused. This kind of virus from another universe is too weird, and it is impossible to analyze and decipher in many places. Martin knows what it is, he is calm from start to finish. The gods stared at Martin, but were cut off by the powerful supreme god armor. Boom boom boom. Martin made wounds on the life messenger. The life messenger roared in anger and waved his arms continuously, bursting with power, trying to catch Martin and eat it in one bite. Just a bite, just be bit by him, no matter what god you are, you have to be his kind. But Martin was extremely cunning, didn't make physical contact with the life messenger at all, just slashed and killed wildly with the star sword, and focused on slashing the life messenger's neck. Boom. There was a loud noise. The blue light shattering to shred the universe. Martin, in heavy armor, held up the star sword and dashed directly in, slashing the scarred neck of the life messenger with one blow. Ah, Martin, you damn thing. I don't have any grudges with you, and I have cooperated, why are you stopping me? The messenger of life is the biggest, and rage growls. Martin's eyes were cold. First, he completely blasted the corpses of life messenger and Galactus into dregs in full view, making sure that there was no drop of blood or pieces of meat left, and he was relieved. Even if someone who is full wants to piece together the life messenger or Galactus's corpse from countless particles, it is impossible. Martin directly pushes these countless particles to the entire universe. It seems that these particles are also similar to others. There is no difference between ordinary particles. You were my trophy. Martin looked down, stretched out the star sword. A sword pierced the eyebrows of the life messenger, and then he took the big head and flew like this in the universe. Where do you want to take me? If you want to study my secrets, I advise you to give up. As the God who creates life, I can't analyze and resist the virus of this different universe. The life messenger roared loudly. What you can't do does not mean that I can't do it. Just be at ease as my experiment. As the God of creation, you are actually the first to fall, and it is also sad. Martin glanced at this guy, and he was inexplicably relieved. Marvel's iron law. Galactus for trivial matters, court for major matters. The court of life in this universe belched as early as Sithorn came, but there is still one Galactus left. Evolutionary version. Now that he has killed the life messenger by himself, Martin immediately feels at ease for a while. Otherwise he always feels that something is missing and his heart is empty. Earth. The tragic scene spread across the world at an alarming rate. Mushrooms and mushrooms. Captain America is biting an arm. Steve, even your conscience is depraved. How many people have you eaten alive these days? I'm so glad to see you like this. The Red Skull was surrounded by a group of zombie heroes, with a sorrowful smile on his face, and blood on his shoulder and his broken arm. Steve's gnawing movement suddenly stopped. A sad look appeared on his face, but was quickly replaced by appetite, and he whispered, I can't control myself. This is the sorrow of the zombie, with wisdom and memory, but it is turned into a monster controlled by gluttony. More zombie heroes pounced on Red Skull, and soon, Red Skull also transformed into zombies. Red Skull, use Professor X's brain to search for us alive. Ant-Man roared anxiously. Well, fresh brain, I can't help but want to eat it. Red Skull murmured, and immediately began to use his spiritual ability to search for living things on the earth. This was an important reason why the gang of zombies left him behind. It didn't take long for the entire earth to fall. To be precise, it was the carbon-based creatures that fell, leaving only the group of shape-shifting diamonds. Damn. The guys in the different universe have cosmic powers. They have already flown into space to search for more food. Only we are trapped on the earth. Those shape-shifting diamonds are a bunch of metal blocks that cannot be eaten. Many zombies gathered together and grumbled, all hungry, and they were almost tortured crazy. Captain America stared at Ant-Man on the side, suddenly shot, and severely tore a piece of meat from the opponent and stuffed it into his mouth, but he quickly vomited it out. No, I still can't eat the same kind. Let's find the shape-shifting King Kong, kill them all, and seize their space bridge technology. Tony whispered. Many zombies began to swarm to the original Wakanda's location, and when they reached the location, they found corpses that had been everywhere in this area. A lot of guys rushed ahead of us, but were blasted to pieces by the powerful firepower here. Hey, the body of Dr. Doom is here, but his head is gone. All the shape-shifting King Kong has disappeared. Damn, these guys are really damn. They run so fast. A violent zombie ran wildly. Rage dismantled the base and destroyed everything. Reed, you bastard brought the virus, and you were also responsible for solving our food. The Red Skull looked fiercely at Reed, who had always remained calm. To be precise, it was Reed of 2149. The Reed of this universe had been killed by this guy long ago, on the grounds that he didn't need another equally smart self. If I were you, I wouldn't be so anxious. Reed looked dignified. During this time, apart from eating, his main energy was to study the world, and found that the power of this earth was indeed very weak, but a very cruel and tricky guy appeared. Martin. Sure enough, as he had guessed before, Martin is the largest variable on the planet, which is difficult to estimate. I have been observing the shape-shifting King Kong species recently, and even hunted a soldier, and found that this species is more tricky than I thought. Reed was a little fanatical. Relying on the fire in the chest to maintain everything about itself, it is almost perfect life form, can scan mechanical devices and perform shape-shifting at will. It is just a work of art. More importantly, these guys have a real core in the depths of the distant universe. No matter how I extract their souls to deliver the virus, I can never infect them. An unknown force is blocking this power to correct the soul. Much like the power of Soul Gem, but obviously, it is more powerful and more complicated than Soul Gem. Reed was excited all over. I have sent a message to those guys who are going to the depths of the universe. Wait a minute, they will soon take action on Cybertron. I need to observe again. Shape-shifting King Kong the first I understand, but Martin, a human being, I haven't figured it out yet. Deadpool on the side turned and left. Where are you going? I imprisoned Logan. This guy has a self-healing factor and is the best. Damn, why are you following? F*K off. It took me a long time to hide him, and I deliberately shielded his spirit. Deadpool cursed, but still took these guys to his secret base. I will not give up the hope of cracking the virus. As long as I can eat enough, I will definitely find a solution to the problem, Tony said in a low voice. The depths of the universe. A large number of visitors from different universes began to wreak havoc on this new world full of food, and they began to devour it. Sentry, Captain Marvel, Ego. A powerful guy crossed the vacuum of the universe, quickly searching for one planet after another in this world, pulling out a powerful existence to eat. Finally, the major forces in the entire universe began to fight these guys, but unfortunately, because of the frequent occurrence of major events in this universe, the invasion of Sithorn, the interstellar annihilation, Martin's fierce battle with the gods, etc., countless planets have long collapsed. The power of the entire universe suffered severe losses. The weak force, being attacked by these tyrannical guys, can only mourn, either turning into food or becoming a zombie. The many aloof universe gods could no longer tolerate them, and they took action one after another, and announced another cosmic summit. This is already a major crisis in level universe. So, you actually came to invite me, the alien in your eyes? Martin looked at the god who came before him and said lightly. In the face of the disaster of level universe, there is no such distinction. You are also the top god of our universe, and you are fully qualified to participate in the summit of the universe. The annihilated figure flickered and appeared, as if the entire universe was dying around him. Martin looked at the existence in front of him with a look of fear. Annihilation. The main body is the existence of super-universe level, which is extremely terrifying, but low-key to terrifying. I have seen the spread of disasters, and universes are falling, including my duplication in other universes, and being surrounded and killed by these zombies. We can't control other universes, but at least, we have to defend this universe. It's good for you, Annihilation said solemnly. Martin was silent and nodded. I understand. When the gods gather, I will show up. You have a guest here, so I won't bother you. The annihilated figure slowly dissipated. Martin got up, looked up, and saw a body of figures rushing towards Cybertron. These disgusting zombies were enough. Sentry, Ego, and other messy guys. Ultron has issued an early warning. This is another A-level event, with the existence of level single universe. A group of figures are already standing outside waiting for Martin's order. Martin carried the star sword, walked out slowly, looked around at these guys, and said lightly, Serta, Kratos, Ganada. You guys, leave me on Cybertron. You are not allowed to come into contact with those zombies. The shape-shifting King Kong who are not afraid of infection will go with me. Kratos stepped forward and said solemnly, Master, I am not afraid of death, I am eager to fight. But I don't want you to die. You should have a more glorious future. There are still many terrifying guys waiting for you to kill. If you die here, I will have a headache. You have to stay behind Cybertron and monitor well. On the Global Academy of Sciences, the head of the Life Messenger and the head of Dr. Doom are there. It will be very troublesome if you lose control. Martin passed the crowd, and took a few shape-shifting King Kong directly into space. The flesh and blood confronts these zombies, and a slight scratch will cause the corpse to change, which is too troublesome. In other words, the shape-shifting King Kong people can do it with confidence and boldness. Fierce fighting broke out. The hordes of zombies began to pounce on Cybertron. Not to mention, there are countless zombies on Ego in Universe 2149. When they are fast approaching Cybertron, they even send out. With a roar, a large number of zombies were thrown out by him, and they were thrown directly at Cybertron. Boom boom boom. Under the control of Ultron, numerous artillery bombardments accurately killed the rapidly falling zombies into ashes. Even if the lucky ones successfully land on the surface, a large number of shape-shifting diamond troops are already in place. Are you here to die? You dare to stop me? Martin sneered and whispered. Sentry, with the explosive power of 1,000,000 fixed stars, looked at Martin indifferently, and said in a deep voice, Reed said you are an alien. If we want to turn this universe into our hunting ground, we must solve you and yours. Race. The guard leader of the Shia Empire, Fighting Sword, at the moment also folded his shoulders and looked at Martin solemnly. Despite his greed, he still reminded Sentry. Be careful, this guy is very scary. There are many ancient the gods were defeated by him. Huh, just defeated? We just killed all the gods of the 2149 universe. What death, annihilation, and the Court of Life are all dead and clean. Although a lot of despicable methods were used, no matter how despicable they were, these zombies won. Sentry looked arrogant and looked at Dojien with a little regret. When he attacked the Shia Empire, he fought swords. He didn't expect that there was a guy like him in this universe, hot sight, super self-healing, relying on the sun for energy source. It was just his peer. If it weren't for only scratching the sword in the fierce battle, and finally delaying its transformation, Sentry would definitely eat it completely. Then you go to die. Martin has no expression on his face, with many shapeshifting kings starting to siege these guys. Fierce fighting broke out. Sentry looked arrogant and faced Martin directly. Do Jian followed and killed him, staring at Martin, eager to bite Martin's flesh and blood. You rely on this peculiar armor to get to the present. Sentry grinned, his mouthful of fangs were exposed, and immediately, a hot sight shot from his eyes and hit Martin's chest. Unscathed, Martin could not be hurt by the mere sight of the heat. You two high imitation goods, let's die here together today. Martin said something that Sentry and Do Jian couldn't understand, and he started with a very harsh hand. The cold glow of the star sword flashed into the space, and the roar continued to fight against the two Supermans. That's right, Sentry and Do Jian are imitations of the Superman next door, and it's just as if they were fighting two Supermans. Boom. Martin quickly rushed to the fighting sword. A sword tore his steel body apart, and a large amount of dry flesh was shot out, escaped into space, and was annihilated into atoms on the spot. Die, you chose the wrong opponent. Martin held down his sword, and in shock and disbelief, he raised his sword and chopped off the opponent's head. You still don't do it. Rage snarled when Martin was holding his head in Do Jian. Sentry's body surface immediately exploded with a terrifying light, which was the power of 1,000,000 fixed stars that burned and exploded in one go. At this moment, they all blasted towards Martin. Turn to ashes, Sentry said gloomily. Boom. Martin's whole person was swallowed by this majestic force, and the heat wave burst out. The moment the coercion that distorted time and shattered space dissipated, Sentry had already rushed up again. Forcing me to kill you this way, you can be proud, human. Sentry shuttled through the energy cluster like lava. The speed was astonishingly fast, as if it was not affected at all. At the moment directly rushed to Martin, who resisted this force, grabbed it, and opened his mouth to bite hard. Go down. This guy did not react. Sentry is very confident. In the 2149 universe, he killed many ancient gods in this way and swallowed them all. Sentry almost smelled the smell of Martin's meat. Just crush the shit armor on this outer layer. There was a fierce glow in Sentry's eyes. After becoming a zombie, a major change was the mouthful of sharp teeth. Even a mortal could bite off flesh and blood from a god like Galactus. More terrifying than an artifact, Sentry caught the opportunity, and immediately took a bite. When? A loud noise that shook several galaxies. Sentry's mouthful of sharp teeth shattered. He was stunned. On his ugly and rotten face, he looked confused and somewhat suspicious that the corpse was alive. How come? I can kill even a god, why can't I bite your armor? Sentry was dumbfounded. What are you doing? Martin, who was always standing there, seeming to be under the power of 1,000,000 fixed stars, suddenly turned his head, looking at this guy with an indifferent face behind his helmet, raising his hand and smashing it with a sword. Sentry's body that ran out of energy was immediately pierced by Martin, and immediately, a terrifying blue glow broke out, tearing Sentry's entire body to pieces. How come? What level of armor are you? Sentry's only half of his head was unbelievable, unwilling to scream. In the next moment, he was completely erased by Martin. With a glance, the zombies who had struck were also besieged and killed by many shapeshifting kings. They immediately moved across countless dimensions, and directly reached the deepest world of the universe. Past. There was a roar, and Martin, who was exuding solemnity and sternness, had stepped into the inner world and looked at the many cosmic gods. It took a little longer to clean up the garbage. Martin said coldly. The inner world, the most secret world in the universe, is located among countless cracks and is the residence of the 5 great creator gods. Many gods gather here, an ancient existence exudes a sacred luster, and there is always a rule surging around him, lifting his stalwart figure high. Martin rushed in a solemn and violent manner. He casually glanced at the quietly standing gods. There are many familiar faces, such as the cosmic god group with 2 or 3 big cats left. At the moment, they are turning their heads one by one, staring at Martin indifferently. For another example, the frog picture of an observer who was supposed to be on the moon, at the moment also appeared here, obviously aware of the crisis in advance, and then ran away. I hope this summit, you can come up with useful things, don't be like last time. Martin raised his foot and walked in, sitting directly in the most central position, thrusting the star sword into the void, wearing heavy armor, and looking at these so-called gods indifferently. The entire venue fell silent. At the last summit, they got together to discuss how to deal with Martin, who forcibly gathered 6 infinite gems, and brutally captured the existence of destiny, but they didn't discuss why. Martin is mocking them. Then, now a new round of Cosmic Summit is held just to deal with this crisis. Eternal looks indifferent, with countless galaxies rotating in the shadow-like body, he said indifferently. This crisis has now spread to many universes, and everything is destroyed in fierce battles. I have noticed that many of my duplications are already dead. We may well be the next world to embark on the path of destruction. All the gods frowned deeply. Can you develop an antidote to crack the zombie virus? With the wisdom of the gods and the power of the entire universe, you can definitely do it? The horticulturist of the Universe Presbyterian Church couldn't help but say. It's a pity that it can't be done. Other universes have already done this kind of thing. Even the zombie universe has been developing an antidote as early as the crisis broke out, but it is of no use. This weird virus. Solution. Eternal Road. Then find a way to find the source of the virus. The source is in the zombie universe. I was born in the lightning. I in the zombie universe have not been able to figure out this problem until I die. There is a very low probability that the virus was born from nature. Annihilation whispered. All the gods shook their heads secretly. How is it possible that things that are born naturally can spread wildly between different universes? Many universes have different universe rules, but this weird virus can adapt to. The deciphering of the virus will continue, and our massacre and encirclement of zombies will also continue. Now that these zombies have spread throughout the universe, we will take action to destroy them as soon as possible, and then guard our world steadily, who if there is movement in the process, don't blame me for being rude. Annihilation looked at every god present indifferently. After the death of the Court of Life, he was already the strongest at the moment, capable of suppressing many gods. He knows the horror of this disaster more than any existence, and has a faint tendency to spread to the entire multi-universe. Although it is only a trend, it is already very terrible just like this. After talking for a while, the will between the gods was already very large. Every moment, countless thoughts and plans could be exchanged. Soon, the summit came to an end. Many beings were worried and left one after another, showing a sense of confusion about this virus. If it's a powerful enemy, it's fine, but it's this kind of weird thing, and some gods have already planned whether to abandon the body and completely transform it into energy life. Martin, don't forget, this time, you are destined to save this universe, and you are also saving you and the species you created. Annihilation finally said to Martin. Martin left without looking back. The 4 creation gods have been watching him. Martin can clearly feel it, but these 4 guys can't understand the sneer in his heart. Save the universe? This is just an add-on. I don't care about the life and death of this universe. Martin broke through the barriers of the inner world with a sword and entered the category of the normal universe. He glanced around at random and saw that the universe was full of wars, even the army that encircled and annihilated the remnants of the Zerg. Numerous zombies are fighting. The war-torn world couldn't arouse Martin's interest at all, he didn't care at all. At the moment, there is nothing more important than his promotion to the multi-level universe. If he is replaced by another, Martin must first slaughter all the gods in this universe, lest these dregs will be bad things at that time, but now it seems. Clearly there is a more suitable method. Zombie. Martin watched for a while, and went straight back to Cybertron, heading straight to the most heavily guarded Global Academy of Sciences. The heads of Life Messenger and Dr. Destruction are here. Numerous powerful warriors have blocked the Global Academy of Sciences layer by layer. The shapeshifting King Kong is inside, and Kratos and other flesh and blood are scattered around the Global Academy of Sciences, and various high-tech and magic arrangements are stacked one upon another to prevent the virus from spreading. This terrible virus cannot be taken seriously enough. Martin went directly to the deepest part of the Academy of Sciences, staring at the big one and the small 2 heads indifferently. You finally came. It's not that simple to study the secrets of zombies. The Life Messenger and Dr. Destruction spoke at the same time. The moment they saw Martin, their eyes burst into obsession and madness. It was a kind of extreme greed. After all, only Martin is flesh and blood here, so, theoretically, they can also infect Martin. The ambulance on the side looked serious and said, "This virus can be understood as a kind of extreme amplification of life, causing the spirit and body of life to burst out of distortion, but it can retain its own wisdom and strength." Martin said lightly, "How long will it take you to decipher this virus? If there is the full assistance of the magic ball and the power of scientists from all over the world, I will probably need a month." The ambulance answered. There are many amazingly intelligent guys on Cybertron, ambulances, shockwaves, jacks, banners, titanium masters. Each of them possesses terrible wisdom. 1 month? What are you kidding? Dr. Doom sneered. The ambulance ignored him. Because Cybertron has the terrifying supercomputer of the magic ball. As long as they have the magic ball in their hands, they can have almost endless computing power, plus a few top scientists to control the direction and input variables. Even the entire multi-universe can be calculated. Could it be that this virus is more complicated than the multi-universe originally? Shockwave said indifferently. I tried to use Tianzhao's hammer to temper this virus. Tianzhao's hammer has already conducted a preliminary analysis and deciphering of this virus, which has saved us a lot of time. The hammer of Tianzhao, one of the top 10 artifacts, can turn all forms of raw materials into the most powerful weapon. It has countless reserves of horror formulas. It can also be regarded as a supercomputer, but there is no magic god. The ball is so exaggerated. Then I have to figure out what these viruses are as soon as possible, and they can actually break through the rule restrictions to infect. In addition, when the line of defense is arranged, there will be a source of constant zombies to attack and kill them. Let me emphasize one more point, don't rush to fight with the zombies, just stay in Cybertron for me. Martin looked indifferent and left a word, turned and left, he had more important things to do. Find a way to be promoted to a multi-level universe god. As long as you can become a multi-universe god, you don't need to care about the zombie virus at all. Martin looked up at the cosmic starry sky that was erupting drastically everywhere, took a deep breath, put on the supreme god armor directly, swept the cosmic starry sky with his mighty will, and finally settled on the world tree. Muspelheim, the world of fire demon. Queen Sind is leading her army in a fierce war with the invading zombies. Because it is a flame life form, although it has a body, it is more inclined to the energy side. As long as it is not bitten by a bite, it is difficult to be infected. This flame world can still be supported until a terrible guy arrives. Dark Phoenix. Sind, I can smell the fresh meat on you. 2149 Universe's piano kept sucking its nose with a look of greed. The Phoenix phantom emerging from the body burned with golden flames, almost suppressing the entire world. Including Queen Sind, Lord of Fire, was also firmly suppressed in front of Phoenix Force, with a look of despair. The whole Muspelheim was wailing, and countless fire demons were hunted and killed by zombies. Boom. There was a loud noise. Martin, in heavy armor, killed him with a star sword in his hand, and went straight to Dark Phoenix. The cutout of the sword almost slashed the entire Muspelheim. Give me your Phoenix Force. Give me. A cold light appeared in Martin's eyes, and the Phoenix Force in his body also burst out instantly, and a Phoenix Phantom appeared behind him, but it was not stronger than that behind Dark Phoenix. The two existences with Phoenix Force fought fiercely. In the flashing blue light, the Dark Phoenix was split by Martin with a sword. Damn it, how can I in this universe be on you? Phoenix Force flew out of Dark Phoenix's body, Rage said. Martin grinned and raised his hand. In an instant, countless chains flew out, and instantly penetrated the boundary of time and space, and powerfully penetrated the energy barrier, binding the Phoenix of the 2149 universe, and pulling in an instant. In one's own body. Just like what he did on Earth many years ago, imprison Phoenix Force in this way. Master. Queen Sind looked at Martin. But Martin did not even look at her. After capturing Phoenix Force, he immediately turned and left. In the body, two phoenixes were also forced by Martin to integrate and turn into brand new phoenixes, healthier, stronger, and more powerful. More irritable. Martin. You damn thing, you dare to do this to me. Sooner or later you will get my revenge. Phoenix was struggling frantically, even if it was a big one, and reached the limit of level single universe in a moment, it still couldn't break free from the shackles of the fire source. The endless power of the fire source made Phoenix feel a headache. What kind of ghost artifact is this? You have been swallowed by me in this universe. Although you in the 2149 universe are complete and possess the power of level single universe, they have become a zombie's plaything. Pulse sneered. Zombie? This brand new Phoenix also smiled contemptuously. The Phoenix of the two universes is integrated. Obviously the Phoenix of the 2149 universe is stronger and more dominant. He sneered at the moment. In my eyes, zombies are no different from ordinary humans, but they are new species that greatly amplify their desires. Humans, in the eyes of many lives, are they not zombies? It's Phoenix Force. Born aloof, for it, there is no distinction between zombies and normal humans. After a while, it couldn't wait for Martin's response. It was a little uneasy, struggling frantically, and said in a deep voice, "Where are you going?" "Definitely is to collect more of you. If you didn't break into my universe, I'm still thinking about how to be promoted to a multi-universe god. When you come, I don't need to think for myself, I just need to enslave more of you. Then forcibly sublimate me, become a god." Martin flew to the starry sky of the universe, looking for that tyrannical power, and seizing another piece of Phoenix hidden in the depths of the universe. The army of zombies completely ravaged the entire universe. Looking along the way, countless species have been infected. The most frightening thing is these infected people. Except for the Annihilation Zerg who already possesses interstellar flight ability, even if the life forms of various technological civilizations become zombies, also immediately drove the spacecraft to search for food on other planets. The zombie virus has completely spread, and wherever it goes, there is a wailing. The bustling city completely collapses, and it becomes a dead place with corpses everywhere. Groups of strange zombies colluded with each other and swarmed across the universe. At this moment, there were only two species in the universe, zombies and non-zombies. Some gods have already fought, and they have also been infected. Cronus, the god of time, had also been infected at this moment, and was fighting with the 15 elders of the Universe Presbyterian Church. Soon, some of the elders were also infected. The emptiness is over. The idiot collector has long reminded him to block this place as soon as possible and unite the army. Let's withdraw quickly. The rocket raccoon rushed into the spaceship cursingly. Behind him, a large number of zombies swarmed, and one by one madly rushed towards them. Fresh meat is already the rarest wealth in the universe. Dawn, the spacecraft, mobilized a large amount of artillery bombardment, covered the evacuation of Quill and others, and closed the cabin door in time, and flew into space in a crash. The terrifying heat wave burned a large number of zombies to ashes. "How do you feel?" Drax turned to look at the confinement, and squeezed the knife in his hand. Standing in confinement at the end of the team, at the moment his body was bitten by the zombies in pits and pits, extremely embarrassed, his eyes glared with red light. "Asshole. What is your attitude? I became like this because of you. Run away, you bastards can't run as fast as I do together." As long as he wants, he can instantly become a small spaceship and run away. Are you still using the Dawn? "Oh, I'm just worried that you will become those ghosts outside." Drax grasped the dagger, hesitated for a moment, looked at the confinement and cursed, but there was no sign of transformation, immediately relieved. "Don't worry, Drax, the zombie virus will not spread in the machine. We are essentially a living body composed of a pile of metal parts and circuits, and will not be affected by the virus." The spacecraft cast a humanoid image, and Shiguang said with a smile on his face, "I'm sorry, buddy, my head is not very useful, you know." Drax said in a low voice. The confinement began to scold him again. The entire Guardians of Galaxy breathed a sigh of relief, looking like an afterthought. These zombies are too scary. Quill looked at the back of the spaceship, and the countless zombies who got on the spaceship rushed towards them frantically, their scalp numb. They can only retreat while fighting, but the entire universe and starry sky are full of hordes of wanderers and zombies chasing and killing living people, a mess. "We are going to Cybertron. The only team whose parent star is falling outside is our Guardians of Galaxy. With Cybertron's power, those zombies come and die as many as possible." Confinement gave a cold snort, learned a lot of information directly through Ultron, and then said in a deep voice. The Dawn spacecraft immediately went to Cybertron. Along the way, after a bloody battle, it finally reached the location of several galaxies away from Cybertron, but the scene before them completely shocked them. Countless spaceships are shuttled, and terrifying space cannons bombarded one after another. From time to time, huge battleships flew up, and a large number of main guns extended from themselves. At the same time, there were countless shapeshifting King Kong rushing on it, killing the zombies that were constantly coming over. NS. This is a huge war that makes the scalp numb. Quill, this battlefield covers hundreds of light years, hundreds of millions of soldiers and huge numbers of zombies are fighting. Shiguang screamed, and was also frightened by this terrifying scene. This is even more astonishing than the war against the annihilation in the entire universe. The entire battlefield hit an area several hundred light years away. The war was full of flames. Numerous shapeshifting diamonds participated in the battle one after another. The severely damaged ones would immediately retreat to repair the body, replenish the energy and put it back in battlefield. This is amazing. The zombies that swarmed all over the universe also rushed in from all directions, a steady stream, and the two forms of species erupted in an endless bloody battle. As soon as the dawn was approaching, Ultron immediately carried out the coordination, and soon many teams consciously or unconsciously cleared the obstacles, allowing the Dawn to successfully enter the internal area. Countless planets are being madly mined, transformed into war materials, and sent to the front continuously. Although there are a lot of these planets, it will happen sooner or later. Wait, how come there are so many planets here? Rocket Raccoon suddenly cried. Don't forget, we have space bridges and Bifrost technology, and we can move planets from all over the universe. Confinement raised his chin arrogantly. In addition, during the previous fight against the Annihilation Zerg, a large number of shapeshifting diamonds were activated throughout the universe and moved them all here. Whether it is supplies or soldiers, we are not lacking at all. This is also where Cybertron's confidence lies. In terms of high-end combat power, from the level single universe all the way down, there is no shortage. In terms of military strength, trillions of soldiers are being mobilized from all over the universe. As for use, the planet that came to mind. Not to mention. No matter how many zombies come, don't even think about breaking through this terrifying line of defense, and die as many as they come. The more the Dawn went in, the more stable it felt. The planets had already built huge fortresses and could be activated at any time. When they came to the outer space of Cybertron, a large fleet immediately surrounded them. Guardians of Galaxy, open the hatch immediately. We want to monitor the zombie virus. Your team is mainly composed of carbon-based life, and the risk is too high. This is too exaggerated. Everyone looked at the huge team that surrounded them with stunned eyes, and even the level Godfathers rush into the sky appeared, looking at them with a grin, as if they would do anything at any time. There is no way, now only their team is free, and the risk of zombies is extremely high, so we must be cautious. After all, even if a mortal bites a god, that god will turn into a zombie. This virus is simply terrifying and weird to the point of being unreasonable. Just when the Cybertronian area was caught in endless wars. After changing direction several times, Martin finally came to the depths of the universe, watching the chaotic battle ahead. From time to time, the phantom of the Phoenix appeared and burned, and a smile suddenly appeared on his face. Very well, I finally found it. Martin looked at the two fleeing figures in front of him with satisfaction. The final puzzle.